How you all doing? Ralfy here, Ralfy Customs. We're back on the Sportster bobber. We're going to repair, rewrap the exhaust system and sort the Sissy bar out, yeah? Let's do it. We are rewrapping the exhaust. There's one off there because I had to take it off for the service to get to the master cylinder to check the fluid level, which I did. And the fluids, it's okay. The level's all right, and it looks a bit like old brake fluid. Everything's cool. I did think about flushing it through with fresh, but everything works all right. Nothing leaks. You know, there's no real need to. And the caveat is that on these I only recommend .5, which I never use. It does not mix with .4. It does not mix with .5.1. You must use .5 if it's been used before. I don't have it. I don't use it. It's fucking, it's not something that I'm into, like. So I'm not sure if this has been done. I mean, it's fucking 20 odd years old. So has it got .5 in it? Has it always had .5? Don't know. The place that used to work on it and service it before is closed. So I can't even ring them and check. So I'm leaving well alone. The level's all right, the fluid's all right, no further action is the safest bet. The next thing on the list is to rewrap the exhausts. Now, what I would normally do is take them off, like I have done with the rear. I had to take the rear off to get to that, so that was a no-brainer. Unfortunately for Carsten, let me show you. These front, if you can see up there, let me shine a light. These front bolts get the worst of the weather, and if I can get you in, which I don't think I can. Oh, fucking hell, hold on. Now I can't really get in to show you, but here you go, you can see a bit of it. That front, focus you fuck. That front one is absolutely munted. I mean, rotten in half. So there's no way I am fucking touching that. It'll either destroy the nut and ruin the threads, or it'll shear the bolt off, shear the stud off in the head, which is what tends to happen. And because of where it is, you can't get in to deal with it properly because there's fucking frame tubes in the way. So, looking at these exhausts, they are a header with a straight bit of pipe on, and the join is about there. So I'm going to join the wrap about there on this front one, yeah. The first thing I'm going to do is guesstimate how much I need and cut a piece off. And then soak it, because in order for this to be tight, when it's on the bike, it needs to be stretchy. And when you soak it, it gives a bit, it's got a bit of stretch in it. So I'm going to cut a piece off, soak it, start it, overwrap the one that's already there, and put a couple of stainless bands on, these stainless bands, yeah. Which I've done up top. There's a couple of new ones on there, look, way there. A couple of new stainless bands on, because the one that was on it fell in half when I was looking at it. I don't know where it is. You see it somewhere. Is that it? Yeah. It's just fucking snapped through, rotted through or something, I don't know. So we're going to join it, we're going to soak it, we're going to stretch it tight, we're going to clamp it, a couple of strips there, a couple of clamps there, sorry. And Bob's your answer. The front one, I may well do the same on. I'll have a look. We'll see what sort of condition it's in. I mean, the wrap itself is all right until that point, until that bend, which is right where the fucking master cylinder is. My guess is, there's the joint lock there. So, oh, there's where the master cylinder is. It's touching it, it's wore through it. Yeah, so again, I don't want to fuck about too much for him, so I am probably going to, don't know, I might do the whole thing with that. I might clamp it in the vise, strip it all off and rewrap it properly, in which case I will give you a better demonstration, because as this stands, I'm just going to cut a piece off about there and then unthread this and then go and soak it in the sink for half an hour. Righto, you can join me struggling with this. So it's been soaking. I have actually got gloves on, but prior to that you saw me fuck about without gloves on, and by golly am I paying the price for that right now. You will need to soak it in water. Give that a squeeze off, just a quick squeeze. Yeah, and you will also need to dangle it in the bucket and not on the floor, because I don't want it getting dirty. You need a good pair of really sharp scissors or tin snips just to trim off the fluffy bits accordingly. And then we shall endeavour to wrap it. I think we'll go on that join. We will slightly overlap on that join. And we'll make sure that everything tucks in like so. Then we'll get a couple of goes on it, overlapping it about 50-50, maybe a little bit more. So we'll come around once like that, we'll come around twice like that. Yeah, and now we'll get that how we need it, and we'll get a clamp on there. We'll get one of these on there. Now, how these work is they're like a steel cable tie, only they don't have a clicky ratchet thing. They work on friction, so we will struggle a bit to get that started. Come on, you bastard. Like that, and then what I do is pull it fucking tight, yeah, and that'll hold for now. I'll get another one on to match, so over the top. Bear in mind that we are overlapping the existing, and there's a step down here, there's a join, so we're never going to make them perfectly level. There's not. You won't want to build it up with the wraps like to make them pipes look level, because they're not. It's not going to work. So get them in close to each other. Now to get that tight, what I do is put a screwdriver against that and use a pair of pincers to grab it and lever it as tight as I fucking can. Yeah, same with this one. So come in, screwdriver, pincers, and fucking give it some fucking beans like that, and then I bend it over on itself, give it a trim off with the side cutters, sorry, with the tin snips, yeah, and just make sure that it's nice and tight. From there we can just carry on wrapping it like you would if you're plastering your fucking leg with. Keeping that overlap about half and half. This is one reason that pipes rust underneath these, is that this stuff holds the moisture when it rains or you wash it or whatever, or when you first apply it even. So don't expect to take this off and find beautiful exhausts underneath it, because you fucking won't do. So we'll come to the end, give it a really good fucking squeeze up, and we want that join to be underneath where you can't really see it, so I think we'll just adjust it accordingly. Go a little bit shorter, so trim a little bit off. Follow the weave like that, and then in again with the clips. Now of course I do, I use my mouth a lot, and don't be tempted by this shit. Don't be putting this clip in your mouth after you've just picked it up, because you will have fiberglass all over your hands, and that will become transferred into your mouth, and that is a really, really fucking unpleasant experience, trust me. So what we now need to do is get that started in that clip end, which is fiddly, especially with latex gloves on. There we go. So we'll get that through, and as I tried to explain but didn't before, these clips work best when you are pushing that through rather than trying to pull it like a regular zip tie. If you try and pull that, it just locks up. So you're better off pushing the end with a catch on it until we get about where you need to be, which is going to be somewhere under there in this case.
Don't forget folks, our Fuck Stock stickers are now available in our Etsy store, link in the description below. Fuck Stock, you know it makes sense.
So we'll get that about where we want it. Like that, give that a bit more. And then we'll get another clip on the end and do the same again. So through there, into there, pull it tight. I'll do like 2 on, like a bit of 2's up action on these, because they do move a bit if you don't. And then trim off that loose end, and I'll tighten those up just like I did on the other bit, right, jamming it up, giving it a squeeze. I don't know how much you can see because I can't see the camera, but you get the message. What you don't want to do is have it come off the end of the fucking shit like that has lot. So that one's now redundant. I'll have to put another one on. Like that, just to catch that in. Yeah. Make sure that that don't come off the end, because that would not benefit us in any way, would it? So we'll go there, look. And then we'll nip that up and trim it off, just like the other side. Right, looking at the rear pipe, again, it's a bit of a pain because I can't really hold the camera and show you, but the joint is somewhere here, where this pipe joins that pipe, and the joint is exactly there, and this is all monted around the fucking joint. Sorry, I'm not filming it very well. So what I think I might do is cut that, split the wrap here somewhere where it wants to look. It's anyhow, look. So cut that. There ain't fuck all holding that. So we'll rip that off there, like that. Yeah. So now they're separate, and I bet that rear pipe would come off if I could hold it with 2 hands. And I'll pull the rear pipe off, strip all that off there, and then look at doing a joint on that one, I think. Righto, so I ended up splitting them and stripping it all off, and I'm glad that I did, because underneath that wrap is a munted repair, and I mean fucking munted. So it's been blowing there, look, where it's black. So what I'm gonna have to do is make that good. Fucking hell, who welded that? Stevie fucking Wonder. I'll patch it up. I'll message him, see what he wants to do. Well, I know what he wants to do. He wants me to say I've found this and I've fixed it, because I give solutions, not problems. That's the fucking truth of it. So we'll wire brush that up, get the Megatronic on it, and then we'll fit the system back on. We'll fit this back on the bike. Look at that shit. We'll fit this back on where it sits. Yeah. where it sits and work out where that joint comes and mark it up, and then we'll clamp it in place, and then we'll wrap it like that one is, where it wraps over the clamp, which is the right way to do it. This was wrapped up to the clamp and the clamps are on top. So, don't know, I've got itchy nose, no surprises. Yeah, so I will give that a clean up and a weld up and fit it back on, and then we'll mark up where it needs to be, cut off a good length of this. We'll wind that on loose and then trim it and then soak it and then wrap it. Right, it's not got to be pretty, it's just got to have holes in it. So we've welded it up and ground it back a bit. This is how it started life, look. And we're going to do the same with that. I think someone's welded it with an arc welder or flux cord MIG. Who's not? I don't know what they're fucking doing. I don't know, I've got no explanation other than that, really. It's been very badly welded. And welding exhaust is not easy at the best of times, so I get that. We'll spin it round in the vise, put a fresh flappy wheel in, dress that one back and give that a weld as well. Righto, so that is welded and cleaned up. It could do with changing sometime in the future, for sure. And we've got the rear on, and we've lined the mount up, although the bolt's not in, but you know, it does all fit just as it should. Needs a little spring down, something like that. So, excuse me, what I'll do, I'll take it off and I'll wrap it on the bench, just like you see me do that little patch up. I won't make you watch another 7 fucking minutes looking back and editing the video, but I couldn't shorten the clip and it makes sense really, so tough shit. There you go. We'll get that wrapped up and put back on, and the jobs are fucking good. And there you go, look. That is much neater. 3 on the back, 2 on the front, and 1 about clips. Same as that one, where we patched it in. You see overnight for you, for me, not for you, it's next minute for you. That's dried up nicely. It is a bit shinier than the old, but it'll soon blend in once it's been run up. And this should dry out and tighten up. What I probably didn't show on this one in all that fucking time was that once you soak it, you can give it a good stretch. You can pull it fucking tight, so you don't end up with Nora Batty style fucking wraps, ain't it? If you know, you know. Right, off we go then. It's a fresh week for me. I've been off Sunday, Monday. Had a bad day Monday, but there you go. And on the block we have Finger Bob's Odd Up Customs frame, I believe. One of the earlier ones, to mount the engine and do a periphery of little bits and bobs on. And I was fortunate enough for our Josh to come in on Saturday and help me get that in. I will film the progress on that as it goes, but for now we're concentrating on our Carstens. It looks better without the Sissy bar in my book. There you go, our Carstens job. So I had a good think about this, and I think in keeping with the style of the bike, we're going to plate up and come back. So we're going to basically, I hate that word, we're going to put some strips in here with a rounded end, emulating what's here, but extend it back, because we need the Sissy bar to go from here, it was, to here, where I've guesstimated this mark. So we're going to use a bit of the old CAD and probably a bit of 6mm or maybe 10mm plate to move those mounting holes back, so we can remount it further back. Keep it simple, stupid. We will also have to relocate his indicators, I think, because the Sissy bar will probably obscure them, but I'm not sure. We'll see. I've got these Kellermans, I think they're Kellermans, that I had on the dyno, and by fuck are they bright. So if they're not obscured, they will be seen. Righto, so here's the plan. We are going to make plates that come on here, just to extend that back 180mm. That's going to go back. We've made a quick template, look, let me show you. Made a quick CAD for the end of it with the bolts offset as they are, so this can bolt straight on. The only caveat is that this is going to be 20mm wider than the back of the frame is, because this is 10mm thick. So I'm seriously thinking of cutting these off because they're fucking shit, and simply widening it, bending it out 10mm each side. I think that's the answer, and then they'll bolt up. They might not sit perfectly parallel. We might have to put a little bit of a roll in this, which is no big deal, although it's quite thick. We can warm it up and give it a tweak. and go from there. It's either that or we get really elaborate, and I don't think elaborate suits it. I think it needs to be nice and simple. I could make something that goes on here, some rails, some round section with bosses on, and maybe a loop over and stuff like that, but I don't think that's necessary. Bear in mind that the King Queen seat is going to come along up and go up the Sissy bar and be bolted in mid-air against the Sissy bar, so it's going to tie everything together nicely. Right, so with those cut and cleaned, fettled, we've transferred the holes. They're going to mount it to the bike, and they're going to mount the Sissy bar to the bike. They need to be clearance holes, 8mm and 10mm respectively, and they need to be drilled and tapped. So we'll get on the mighty Medins and get those drilled out. I'm hoping you can see, look, I've moved you, I'll put you in a spot I don't normally have you in. These are the 10mm, they need to be drilled out to 8.2, but I'm just going to go through all four with the 6.8, which is for the 8mm, because it's got 1.25 pitch. We take the pitch off the OD, off the diameter, so 8 minus 1.2 is 6.8, which is what this drill bit is. A little bit of lube on. We're drilling through 20mm material here, so we just need to go nice and steady away. And we'll get those drilled out as we go. I will move you very shortly, so I can get in and get the job done. And Bozo nearly visited there. This end, we'll call this the end. I mean, that could be the end. It don't matter which. But the difference is that that's threaded, those two, and those two are clearance holes. So, yeah, luckily we've got 8.2 in there for the 8mm bolt that fits in there, and we're going to do 10.5 there for the 10mm bolt that fits there, and then those two are threaded. I nearly fucked that right up then. Hello, someone's ringing me. Righto, so with those drilled, chamfered and shaped and separated, not in that order, we can now tap them out. So I like to use a machine tap when possible, because all we've got to do is screw the fucking thing in. We ain't got to do that backing out to break the swarf, because it's self-clearing, look, as you can see by the curly whirlies coming off. I've used a little bit of Hank Stuffers, not sponsored, on there, just to keep it nice and smooth, so we don't have crunchy threads, because we don't want crunchy threads. And the job's a good one. There is something else I need to address before we can mount these, and I'll show you what that is once I've tapped this M10. Get a nice and straight look, just eyeball it. So we're nice and straight to you, we're nice and straight sideways, and get it going nice and gently. Let the machine tap do its work. Happy days. Righto, so we've tapped that M8. It was actually M6, sorry, 6mm. Had a 6mm bolt in it, even though the fitting on the Sissy bar is 8mm. And that had some dodgy thread in that I thought might be 1/2 inch or 3/8 or whatever, but I've just tapped it out to M10. So that is going to go like that. The problem now is that that's not flat. There's a kink there. That comes out. So I think what I'm going to do is cut a piece out, slice this slightly, and then give it a tweak, give it a bend. So I'm going to go in there with a cutting disc and cut a piece out, give it a tweak, and then when it's right, weld it up. Sorted. Right now, after much fucking about, because would you believe it, these that someone's drilled into the struts on the frame ain't in the same place. So my matching brackets didn't fucking match, which means that they're likely off when I go to fit the Sissy bar, but I'm not too worried because I'm going to chop the fucking ends off, ain't I? I'm going to mount the skinny one, the M8 one, in there. It could go inside if I can get the bolt in, or outside, not too fussed. And then we'll see. Let's have a look. I'm trying to offer it up without fucking letting go one-handed. So we could probably do that, or we can spread it a bit and tweak it a bit accordingly. Right, so that's that mocked up, and they do not line up. I can pull it about until that's about right, but they're not quite the same, are they, because of how it's been done previously. So I've got a couple of choices. I do quite like that. I might fucking give it some angle leather dangle. Well, fucking hell, it's tight. I might give it some angle leather dangle like that and just chop that shit off and weld something new on. That is very, very likely. It's about where I guesstimated that I'd like it. I could. It's a lot further fucking back than it was. It's this far back, isn't it? 6 inches back. I could lob those off, mount that on the very back, and then have one going forward to gain another 2 inch. I'm tempted to do that, actually, to be fair. I might spin up a couple of bits. They'd take an M10 for this mounting. Again, we don't need to worry about finish or welding stainless TIG immaculately because it's a bit of a wrap. Right, I've had a think. I've done a stainless, and because one of my videos wouldn't be complete without a little bit of lathe work, you can see me just truing the end of this up and drilling it 8mm clearance because that's all that it needs. I will, however, give it a quick dress up the grubby old Scotch Brite pad in preparation to TIG welding it, which is the right thing to do. I can't bring myself to do it how it was. There you go. We're in the centre drill, just get things started. Let me just move my saddle out the way a bit. I'll cross slide and we will go nice and gently. I don't know what grade stainless this is. Those are like a 303. Which is nice and free machining and won't ease there, but every now and again I come across something that's fucking rock hard, or that gummy there, it sticks and fucks up, so I'm always a little tentative. Alright, now we're straight in. There's the lube. We need the lube, don't we? Straight in with the M8, fucking hell, 8mm clearance, you dickhead. We're straight in with the 8mm clearance, and this wants to be, the part's going to be 16 long. The parting blade is 3mm, that's 19mm. Or more than 16 and less than 20. So we'll get that drilled out. So now we'll bring in the parting tool, the parting tool, touch on that end and go along 19, which will give us a part that's 16mm long, which is just coming up. Come on, dickhead. There. There's your 19. And we'll go in. Let me just clear. I've got shit in my hands I don't really need. Hold on, bear with. Right, here we go. Fucking hell. Have we done much of this kind of work, Mr. Ralfy? So, plenty of lube. Let's just stop a minute. Break those edges, ready for number 2. And carry on away. I could do with a new tip in my parting tool, to be fair, but it's not going to get one on this job, I don't think. So we'll carry that on. There we go, and now we've got a nice little centre ready for a drill bit, and we'll repeat as necessary. Right, here's the setup. We have a spacer to get that in the middle. We have a slight twist in it, so that one is in the middle, up and down wise, which we'll sort out when we fit it up. We have a couple of magnets holding a straight edge, so the bosses are in line, and then we can just eyeball them on the middle of the diddle, because there's loads of springy boingy in it. Not a problem. I will just caveat time, people. Had I realised that that wouldn't fit because it was off and I was going to have to fuck about with it, I would have made those holes in the middle. That's it. That's my caveat. I am considering welding those holes up and putting them in the middle before I weld the doodah in place. But it is just a consideration. Look, I couldn't live with that how it was. All right. So I've filled them holes in. They're gone now, you can't fucking see them at all. And made another couple of 10mm clearance bobbins, whatever you want to call them, Ujima flids. Yeah, and I've moved them forward a little bit as well, just to give us a bit more brace. We are just going to get a bit of 12mm stainless steel that I'm fingers crossed I've got, and brace that out. So there's the ends in. Look, the ones I've just done, they're on there, welded up. We will drag the TIG across, and we will do this properly with a bit of something, probably from there to, well, there's the width point. We're going to be sloping it in from there. Sorry, I'm really shit at filming this handheld, aren't I? So yeah, I'm going to make a piece up that goes from there to there on both sides. And so there we have it, boys and girls, boils and ghouls. Sissy bar is refitted with the double 10 Eckenbeckers, and he did say to use his old one, refit his old one just as it is. So I didn't bother going too mad with cleaning these off and sorting shit out. That actually looks like it's, well, it has been cut off and the top bit added on at some stage. But there you go, there's the plates. We catch that one. I didn't want to weld the frame and centralise it, so we've left it well alone because these are a cast in, and I don't really want to be welding a load on a complete bike, on a finished bike like. It'd be hard work. Possibility is high of snapping off a tap in the frame, which is a bit of a cunt on the best of days. We ended up going with a twin 10mm, which is nice and beefy and uniform, and machining some new bits in stainless steel. And we've got the super duper chunky to match the super duper chunky on these struts. So we've made some beefy short little struts because that's all we could do. Well, it's not all we could do. We could have done lots of other things, but we wanted to match it what was already in there. So that's happy days. That is the exhaust done. That is the Sissy bar done. It's a big boy, isn't it? It's fucking massive. It's still got a bit of flex in it, being as how it's made out of 1/2 inch, but it's fucking shaking like a shitting dog before. And now it's pretty fucking tough. Once we get the seat made, yeah, the King Queen seat, that will bolt. We'll have to put a strap across here or something with a, I don't know how we're going to do it just yet, but we'll get there. And that will be stronger than a fucking strong thing, trust me. So there you go, folks. That's another thrilling instalment. A little bit more done on our Carsten's Sportster bobber ratty. I think he's going to matte black it and stuff when it's all done. Not in my brief. Tune in for the next thrilling episode. It just leaves me, as always, to say thanks for watching. If you like what you see, give me a thumbs up. Please consider subscribing or even joining us. Honestly, it makes a lot of difference to me. Check out all the bump in the description below, and I will catch you on the next one. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I really do appreciate it. Big love, and see you soon.